good to see that.
There's been quite a few big, important things that have happened since we talked to you last. Can you talk to us about Francis Ngnannou's boxing? What did you think of it? What was that experience like for you watching a PFL fighter in there?
I mean, what he did was truly amazing, you know, because it wasn't just another MMA fighter boxing. And he wasn't just fighting anybody. He was fighting the heavyweight champion, boxing champion of the world. And so to see him do what he did was truly amazing. Because a lot of people doubted him. You know what I mean? I personally thought he'd probably have anything from 1 to 5 rounds to put Tyson Fury away. But when he dropped Tyson Fury, I think that also gave him a lot more confidence in what he was doing. And he was so composed, he was patient. And the fact that he went 10 rounds with the heavyweight champion is truly remarkable. And so, so happy for Francis. You know, it's everybody was saying that, nah, he's going to get outboxed, and that didn't happen. Francis was right there throughout the fight, and that fight could have easily gone his way. I mean, what, there was 1 point in it? So, in my opinion, he won, because nobody expected him to go 10 rounds with the heavyweight champion of the world. So in my opinion, congrats, Francis. You did great, brother.
Is there a little bit of worry when you see that all the talk is like, wow, we want to keep seeing him box, and you're like, no, we want you to come here? Do we have like a timeline of when he might actually fight in the PFL, or are you guys going to let him have a little bit of time in boxing first?
You know, that's something that we got to talk to the team, you know, more about. I know, and obviously with Francis as well, I know he's going to want to take a little bit of time off. And at the moment, he's scheduled to compete in February. But right now, I think it's one of those things where we just got to sit down with the team and, of course, with Francis and figure that out and see where we go from here.
With the almost Bellator acquisition, how likely does that make a super pay-per-view headliner between Kayla and Chris Cyborg?
Very likely.
For 2024?
Very possible, yes.
Yeah, nice. Jake Paul said earlier in this year that he'd make his PFL debut late this year, but we're almost at the end of the year. Right. If he makes his debut next year, do you think he goes the Biagio Ali Walsh route and has a few amateur fights, or does he go straight into a super pay-per-view headliner of his own?
I think that's going to be up to him. I mean, you know, for example, he called out Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz is a pro. So if that's the route he wants to go, I mean, that's where he goes, right? So we just have to wait and see when he's looking to make that possible and where he wants to go with that opponent, and then we'll go from there.
When we saw Francis Ngannou train at a media workout, and it looked like he was throwing at 10% speed compared to what he was doing in the ring. Right. Do you think he hoodwinked the whole boxing community by pretending that he was a lot slower and not as good as what he really was in the ring? And was that how he took Tyson Fury by surprise?
Listen, I mean, we all knew going into the fight, you know, Francis is the type of guy that if he hits you, you're gonna go, and he proved that in that fight, right? And so I don't think he was trying to, you know, purposely deceive anybody. I think he was just going with the motion at the time and how he felt, and but at the end of the day, he looked amazing, and in my opinion, that should have, you know, I mean, the outcome was obviously went the other way, but in my opinion, he won that fight in terms of everything that, you know, the fact that a lot of people thought he was going to get outboxed, a lot of people thought he was going to lose, he was going to get stopped, but he went 10 rounds with the champ.
I think he won the event, even if he lost the fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if it came down to that one punch, who had the biggest punch? Yeah, Francis should have won the fight.
One of the fights I'd really want to see him in boxing is with Deontay Wilder. Do you think there could be a 2-fight deal where he brings Wilder into the PFL Smart Cage and then they do a rematch in the boxing ring?
Yeah, you know, there's some talks of that, but again, that's one thing that until we sit down with Francis, and I know that my team also have contacts to Dante, and so we'll just wait and see. Just one of those things. We're just gonna have to, when he's back and he's ready to go, then we'll sit down with the team.
with these $1 million checks upcoming, and Jake Paul's debut, Francis Ngnannou coming in, the possible acquisition of Bellator, just how big could 2024 and the next 12 months be for your brand?
Yeah, it truly would be great for the brand, for sure.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Yay, thank you.
Thanks, Ray.